Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mortuary. I am the Mortician, and today I have the review for the Crosley Cruiser. This specific model number, in case you're curious, is the model CR800 5ABK. Absolutely ridiculous. This uses an MP6 needle. So yeah, let's get into the features here and the various things you have. So starting from the front, you'll notice that there are two internal speakers, which are, for some people, might be really great, but I'll tell you what I think about that in a few minutes. Next, you have RCA, I believe, this is the aux, so you can actually plug an MP3 player in or a cassette player or something like that into this, and have this act as a pass-through to your sound system. Really interesting. Next, this runs off a 9-volt AC adapter. You cannot use batteries. But then we have, obviously, the platter. It is belt-driven, as all my record players are. Then the tone arm, of course, you can't really have a record player without a tone arm. It has an auto stop and a lever. So what this lever does is when you put on the auto stop or something, you can basically gently drop the needle or pick it back up. Really, really interesting. And this is actually a 3-speed turntable. It plays 33s, 45s, and 78s, which is really, really cool. A couple other things. Came with a rubber slip mat. Some people might like this. I prefer felt. Then we have one of these. If you're not familiar with what this is, this allows you to play singles. If you've ever seen vinyls that are like singles, they're about 7 inches. They have a hole approximately this size. And you need one of these single plugs, we'll call them, in order to play them. So, all that technical shit out of the way. What do I generally think about this one? So we'll talk about the internal speakers. The internal speakers are crap. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. When I first had this, I had to use them. I had no choice. I didn't really have a speaker system at the time. It was just okay while I was using it, and I didn't really hear an actual record player through some really good speakers. But now that I have, I realize how tinny and how much they lack bass and how much they lack clarity. So I really don't enjoy them. I don't really like the construction too much. It looks good, like the black on red and whatnot. It looks like a black leather suitcase, but honestly, it sounds hollow. So even with the belt drive, the various electronics with the speakers and the power and whatnot, it just sounds so hollow, which I don't like. It seems like if I were to drop this from any height, it will probably fall apart, which is not good. And how does it sound coming through external speakers? It sounds okay. Once again, it kind of has the same problems as the internal speakers. It really lacks bass, but it's actually a pretty clear record player. Like it has some okay sound reproduction, but lacks bass is basically how I could put it. So it's okay in that regard. It could be much worse, but it could also be a lot better. Just very middle of the road, very, very average. I do not like the tone arm either. You can't adjust the weight. And not to mention that the whole thing is plastic. From this piece right here all the way up here, it's just all plastic. And I really don't enjoy that. I would really rather at least this portion here be made of metal, but it is not. Replacing the needle is a pain in the ass. It takes a lot of strength and outside tools. You need a butter knife or some kind of small flat object to get in between the needle and the head case in order to separate them. Is absolutely ridiculous. And once you put a new needle on, I bought my needle straight from Crosley, and it droops. The front end droops. And it's the same exact needle, the NP6, but it droops. and it's absolutely ridiculous, because you think if I bought from the manufacturer I wouldn't have that problem, and that's one of the reasons I actually bought straight from Crosley, because I was worried about getting a needle that didn't fit properly. But if I can't even get a needle from the manufacturer that fits properly or as snug as it once did, it's ridiculous. And let me tell you, it's pointless. Don't try to like force it up there, because let's face it, you can't really get a good enough grip to really try to put them together. You'd probably have to use a little bit of hot glue or something, but at that point, is it really worth it? And I would say no. Next, we have to talk about this record player in particular. In my case, actually skates right across all the grooves. So if a record's spinning like this, obviously as records do, it skates just like that. It happens in a snap, and it makes my heart skip a beat knowing that it could have been possibly fucking up my records. And you're probably like, Morty, must be the belt. It must be the belt. You have to replace it. And I did replace it. And you know what it fixed? Exactly nothing. So that means it's a problem with the arm itself, or a problem with the platter itself. And you might say, is it even? It's as even as I could possibly get it. No other record player does this. Not my Audio-Technica, not even the other Crosley that I bought does this. Just this one. And we also have to mention the fact that with the platter, the record hangs off about this much. That's about like maybe 2 or 3 inches away, and it's absolutely disgusting. I would never, ever, ever use this record player again, knowing it actually hangs off that much. And honestly, I would just, if I were you, even if you got a working one, I would just say sell it, or don't even bother with it. Just buy a better record player, because this one is just garbage from the ground up, in my opinion. And I would have to give this a 3. Like, it actually 2. Because even if it's moderately okay, has moderately okay sound reproduction, even if it has some okay neat features, none of that will ever fix the fact that it skates across my records, that it could have fucked up my records. And it doesn't fix the fact that, once again, about this much of the record hangs off the platter. That is inexcusable, in my opinion. So what I say, a 2. Yeah, don't buy this. I do not recommend it. So thank you guys for watching. Mortician, peace out.